How does smoking meat preserve it? This one's from my buddy MHK. He asked it in another video. So meat, as you may know by now, is food. It has a lot of protein, a lot of fat, a decent amount of sugar. It's exactly what bacteria like to eat. It is also wet, and moisture is what bacteria need to survive. So left unattended, bacteria will start eating your meat, and then your meat will start to spoil. And then if you eat it, it'll also spoil your day. So the two major problems with preserving meat is A, you have to kill all the bacteria that are on it in the first place, and B, you have to prevent new bacteria from getting on it and starting to feed. And smoking does a great job in doing both of these. First of all, smoke requires heat, and heat kills bacteria. Heating a piece of meat to 160 degrees for a prolonged period of time is enough to make it safe, and most smoking techniques do that. Second, the smoke itself has chemical reactions with the meat. It basically makes formaldehydes and alcohols form and seep into the meat, and both of these compounds are antibacterial. So by the time you're done smoking a piece of meat, it is basically safe to eat. But how does it stay safe? This is the third part. When you smoke a piece of meat, the outside of the meat gets very, very dry. It basically forms a dry crust around the meat, even if the inside still has moisture. So if new bacteria get on the outside of the meat, they can't replicate because there's no moisture that lets them do so. They get stuck to the dry surface, and then they dehydrate and die. And if you wanted to eat the meat at a later date, if you were like a medieval farmer or something, even if you, say, dropped the meat, you could just shave off the outer coating, and it would still be safe to eat. So yeah, as long as you account for surface bacteria, smoking meat basically keeps meat completely safe. But of course, all of this is secondary to my favorite reason to smoke meat. It fucking tastes good. You know the Maillard reaction? That's what happens when stuff browns. That nice sear on the outside of a piece of steak, that crispy brown butter crunch at the outside of a grilled cheese, the char on the outside of a roasted red pepper. All of this is the Maillard reaction, and food scientists believe that compounds created by the Maillard reaction have a scientific property of tasting fucking good. And those same compounds you get from the Maillard reaction are imparted to the meat via smoking, large amounts of them. They are compounds that signal to your brain that you are getting large amounts of cooked sugar and fat, and your brain likes that. So you eat a smoked piece of meat, dopamine gets triggered in your brain, and you're happy. It is an evolved response that is baked right into it. But the best part, doesn't even have to be meat. Vegetarians, get your smoked cheese on. Ever had smoked tofu smoked through the whole block, and then you put it in a fryer with some sesame oil, and the outside gets all crispy, and then you put salt and pepper on? Oh, it's so fucking good. So yeah, in the words of our great caveman ancestors, smoke, make food safe, tastes good.